Let's get this thing going. What's good? What's good? It's popping. Let's get this thing going, you guys. What up, Claude? What's going on? We got some crazy news right now. We got some crazy news. We're going to talk about a few things tonight because a lot of people out there know that Floyd Mayweather's recent fight that was going to happen in February was actually canceled. Well, they say it was pushed back. We're going to talk about that. Plus, it looks like, the fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Logan Paul has been postponed. They say it's been postponed because of, interest, the interest factor. If there's always got to be an interest from the general public for there to actually be a fight. You know what I mean? It would be cool. You know what I mean? Even Dana White commented on it. We'll get into all of this tonight, you guys. What up, Dakota? Chase, share this video, you guys. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think that Floyd Mayweather could be taking some of these exhibition matches. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather versus 50 Cent is a possibility. I mean, years back, we know these two took on a relationship that the media followed very closely. Years back, the media followed 50 Cent and Floyd like they were Biggie and Puff. You know what I mean? It was like they were two of the best friends. Yo, hit that like button, everyone just tuning in. It is your boy Mikey T, the movie star. I'm back with another exclusive for all of you. Tonight we're talking about one of the most interesting things, these new exhibition fights that they've been having, like versus like Jeezy versus Gucci Man. You know what I mean? Things that we've never thought would happen. And now it looks like we're going to get to see potentially people bid on a potential fight with 50 Cent and Floyd. Now that both superstars have actually shown interest in actually doing it. Chase, yeah, that would be big, big. One of the main things about it is the weight. The weight, you know what I mean? Weight is a major thing when it comes to boxing. But I think with these new exhibition matches that they can just throw all that to the side, whether it's height, weight, you know what I mean? Body type, age even. Look at Tyson. Tyson just went at it. Rico Jordan, I appreciate you tapping in tonight. Go ahead and share this video. DJ Dub, what's popping? Appreciate you for tuning in. I just thought that we should go in on this story today because now Floyd Mayweather, according to Hip Hop DX, they have a report up today. Floyd Mayweather threatens to beat 50 Cent's ass. Yup. It's crazy, you guys. Something that we never thought could have happened is potentially going to happen now. A exhibition fight between Floyd Mayweather and 50 Cent. What do you guys think about this? Into the article. Let's get into the news for the day, though. Skill has a lot to do with it, too. Yeah, 50 actually has been touted as one of the best fighters, though. 50 has gotten a lot of respect when it comes to his ability to fight. And he's also been a known boxer. Somehow, I don't think it will happen, Terrence says. Yeah, it's a big what if right now. It's a big what if, but 50 has denied that he will do a versus with the game, but this whole thing, a fight with Floyd Mayweather, it could generate a lot of money. Rico Jordan says 50 got hands. Survivor Mode says that 50 is going to cancel. Playboy De Niro says that 50 is going to kill him. A lot of different thoughts out there about this fight. A lot of different thoughts about this fight. I thought it was just, talk a few days ago when 50 actually challenged, you know what I mean? Challenged Floyd, because news broke a few weeks ago, you guys, that a few months ago that Floyd was actually going to consider fighting Logan Paul. You know what I mean? There was rumors that Floyd Mayweather was going to fight Logan Paul, but that was actually postponed. It was postponed because of lack of interest. So who would be the perfect person to replace Logan Paul with and get that interest factor back? I think the perfect person to replace Logan Paul would be an even better person in 50 Cent. Imagine the money that would draw. They would probably have to up the, they probably actually already had the best arena. You know what I mean, guys? These fights with Floyd Mayweather are no joke. Love 50, but he talks too much. I hope Floyd kicks his ass. Survival Mode says 50 and Logan Paul should fight first. Well, Logan Paul actually called Floyd out. It started gathering a little bit of attention. It started getting a little bit of attention. And now I'm reading an article here on Sports Kita. Sports, whatever that. Actually, I'm not even going to read this article. The point is that there was no interest in Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? I think there was more interest in Logan Paul's brother actually fighting Conor McGregor. You know, Conor McGregor had actually fought Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition fight, proving that the genres, you know what I mean, the sports are going to cross and intermingle with one another because it could generate a lot of money. Eric says 50 would win the fight. I wouldn't mind seeing 50 in game fight, no boxing, but fighting in a cage. 50 has denied that he would actually do 50 doesn't even want to do a versus with Game. 50 has denied Game of doing a versus. I wonder if 50 would deny a versus if they offered him upwards of $1 million. You know what I mean? $500,000, $1 million just to go there for the couple hours and do the versus with Game. Christopher says 50's got too much going on. Yeah, scheduling is a big thing right now. You know, with 50 doing all of his shows, like the BMF show and shit. You know, the BMF show is actually coming together now, it seems. And honestly, you guys, I think that might be just as successful, if not more successful than Power. You know what I mean? 50 did amazing things for Power, making it one of the most gripping, television shows. You know what I mean? He made it one of the most gripping series for the people on all talking about it all over the internet, all over the world, really talking about 50's TV show. He really found his niche audience, on television. Film didn't really work out so much for 50. 50 also tried to do the SMS audio. You know what I'm saying? He got a little tied up with that, also with Sleek. And then he also tried to do the boxing. The boxing didn't really do much for 50. I heard that one of his boxers actually lost one event that he was promoting very heavily. They actually lost. Randy Sutton says, I think Fifth would take the W, but it's not going to happen. Well, I mean, I didn't think Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather would happen either. You know what I mean? I didn't think that would happen either. You know what I mean? I don't expect Conor McGregor. I don't expect Conor McGregor to fight Jake Paul either. You know what I mean? I don't expect that to happen. You know what I mean? Even though Jake Paul is going all over social media and calling out Conor McGregor, look what just happened to Conor McGregor in his last fight. Like, I don't expect that to happen. I mean, unless they raise the amount of funds for it, and then Conor McGregor takes it, just like what would happen with Conor and Floyd when Floyd was like, yo, this is too much money. This is too much money to turn down. Yeah, Eric. Eric says, pretty sure 50 used to box at the gym. Yeah, 50 has some experience like that. Even in my interviews with Bang'em Smurf and Domination, they both said that he had hands. You know what I mean? No one's ever disputed that. 50's a big dude. You know what I mean? So Terrence says 50 wouldn't even match up honestly with Ja Rule. Ja has some real hits. Not knocking 50, but Ja has some gas, bro. Okay, Terrence is talking about a versus with 50 and Ja Rule. Because I was thinking right then, like 50 wouldn't match up with him in like a fight or something. Because Ja and Floyd are probably a similar size. You know what I mean? So yeah, we could see that fight happen. Seeing 50 versus Floyd would actually be like seeing 50 fight Ja Rule, a really experienced fighter version of Ja Rule. But Terrence is talking about music, you guys. So he's saying that 50 wouldn't even match up honestly with Ja Rule. Ja Rule has some real hits, referring to the music. If I take a look at that for a second, I was just actually talking about this earlier with the homies Majestic and RBH. The thing about 50 is he really only had two very successful albums with Get Rich or Die Trying and The Massacre. He kind of flubbed out by Curtis and Before I Self-Destruct and Animal Ambition. None of those albums were very successful. Even Curtis selling 750,000 units first week, or 691,000 units first week, I believe. Pert Gambit says 50 WTW. What I miss, gang, was popping. Pert Gambit. Yo, we're talking about 50 and Floyd right now. You probably caught that last part when I had mentioned how Ja Rule and Floyd measured up. But yeah, I think a fight with 50 and Floyd Mayweather would generate a significant amount of interest, whereas Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, what interest is that going to drum up? I understand Logan Paul is a success on the internet. You know what I mean? They had the Snitch Boy on their show and shit like that just to get some cheap ratings, cheap views. You know what I mean? But honestly, where's the interest in that? I mean, Jake Paul is the bigger celebrity when it comes to Jake and Logan. So I was even confused at first why, you know what I mean? Then Jake Paul is actually the one who just got a knockout as well. So I was confused at first. I was like, why isn't it Jake Paul that's actually challenging Floyd? You know what I mean? But very interesting comments as to what Dana White had to say when it came to the fight with Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. He said he would not. I don't think he said it, but I don't think Dana White would host that fight in his arena. I mean, although Dana White did sign CM Punk to a contract where Punk literally got his ass whooped once. Was the second fight, was CM Punk's second fight in the UFC, you guys? But yeah, let's get back into the comment about the albums. Now, Ja Rule's first three albums were very stellar. Veni Vidi Vici, if we're going to compare Veni Vidi Vici, we got to Power of the Dollar. You know what I mean? It's a comparable thing because they're both pretty street albums, but you'd have to give it to Veni Vidi Vici, probably based on the production, based on the features. Jay-Z was on that album. DMX was on that album. You know what I mean? It's very stellar production on that album, whereas 50's Power of the Dollar album was more independent. Then you got Get Rich or Die Trying against Ja Rule's mainstream breakthrough in Real 336, when Ja Rule broke through with What Would I Be Without You? You know what I mean? Records like that, hot records like that. It's very comparable to In the Club and shit like that. You know what I mean? Both at the height. You'd give the second one to 50. Then you go Pain is Love. Then you go Pain is Love versus The Massacre. The Massacre just had too much good material on it, even though Pain is Love was Ja Rule's real breakthrough. You know what I mean? The Massacre just had too much good material on it. But if you look at the material on Pain is Love, you got I'm Real, you know what I mean, Living It Up. You know what I'm saying? This album had a lot of those big hits. Always on Time. The Massacre. What did The Massacre had? Just a Little Bit. It had Regrettably I Say Candy Shop. You know what I mean? And then at the end, they really did a good job when they put the Out of Control remix out with Mobb Deep. If they could have released that as a single instead of that flop of an Out of Control that we heard, but we're not doing a review. I'm just doing a quick comparison between Ja Rule and 50. Now The Last Temptation and Curtis is both where both artists started to fall off right around their fourth album. They both started to fall off. If you consider Power of the Dollar, Get Rich, The Massacre, Curtis, that's where they both really started to fall off. Ja Rule went back to the, you know what I mean? Ja Rule went back to the whatever. He went back to his safe spot too many times by releasing Mesmerized. You know what I'm saying? He went to his safe spot too many times releasing Mesmerized. And plus, they released it after Thug Lovin' with Bobby Brown. You got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Bobby Brown should have not been on Thug Lovin'. And then what 50 did with Curtis was just disgusting. You know what I mean? Releasing Amusement Park first. Releasing Amusement Park first. So we have Amusement Park and we have Thug Lovin'. These are two horrible records to compare, you guys. And then what did they have after it? What was 50's next record after Amusement Park? Was it Straight to the Bank, you guys? And then Ja Rule had Mesmerized, you know what I mean? Which wasn't that great. Well, that was his worst girl record, in my opinion. So let's get back into the comments now that I did this. 50 sales hurt his own sales. He set the bar so high. Randy Sutton says. Part Gambit agrees. He says, yeah, it's going to be more money if they fight 50 and Mayweather. 100%. If 50 and Mayweather actually come to an agreement, I think that's something that any type of pay-per-view, you know what I mean? Any type of pay-per-view sales would be there for a fight like that. Now, can these two who used to be really good friends, everyone hit that like button for me. I'd appreciate it. Let's get it up to 50 likes in here, you guys. But can these two put aside their issues, knowing that they used to be close friends? You know what I mean? 50 and Floyd used to be pretty close from the way it seems. You know, a lot of people say that 50 took on Floyd as his best friend, even over Tony Yayo. You know what I'm saying? Like, these two were definitely close at a certain point in time. You know what I mean? But where are they at now with it? Would they be able to come together to do a fight, or would it get too personal? Could they put the personal shit to the side for the benefit of that contract? Because you're right, Gambit. A 50 and Floyd Mayweather fight, it's not going to do Pacquiao Mayweather numbers, obviously, you guys. That fight generated like what was it, $1 billion? What did they split, 500 million or something like that? It's not going to be that big, but it's going to be valuable. Logan Paul and Floyd, everyone is like, why are these two guys even fighting? No one even understands why Logan Paul would step into the ring with Floyd. Dana White said it would be a massacre. He said that wouldn't even be a fight. He said Logan Paul would get his ass whooped. He's 100% right. It's not even Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Jake Paul, the guy with the knockout, he's calling out Jake Paul went from calling out Conor McGregor for, what was it, $250,000 to now he's joking around saying you're not worth 10 stacks because of the knockout. You know what I mean? Because Conor just got put on his ass. You know? I'm not too interested to see that fight either, though, man. Like, does anyone in the chat want to see Conor McGregor and Jake Paul go at it? Eric says, I just Googled it. 50 boxed his whole childhood from 11 till he got shot. And he was very talented, and they said he won several tournaments. That's very interesting, man. You know, of course, I've heard that in the past, reading 50's book. From Pieces to Weight, but also he would mention that in interviews earlier in his career as well. That's why 50 is a more respectable adversary. But I was quite shocked, honestly, you guys, when 50 actually challenged Floyd to a fight. You know what I mean? I was kind of shocked because it's like, 50, you're directing now. But, you know, like, there's a thing on the internet. It's like, you know, you do shit for views and shit. You do shit for views. You do shit for, you know what I mean? You do shit for hype. You know, 50 has like what 20 million followers, 25 million followers on Instagram right now. Like, sometimes you do things for hype. This is on TMZ, you guys. Floyd Mayweather, 50 Cent wants to fight. I'll beat your ass too. Floyd Mayweather says to 50 Cent. Floyd Mayweather says he's all the way down to scrap with 50 Cent, telling the rapper to get in line and he'll beat his ass at the end of 2021. So Floyd isn't planning on canceling his fight with Logan Paul. It's too good of money to miss up on. Like that little fight that we saw, that exhibition with Floyd in, I think it might have been in Asia. You know, when Floyd got paid $7 million for like what, a 2-round knockout or something like that, you guys. So we're going to read this article on TMZ, but let me get back into the question. Stefan says he got beat by Kanye West because West had Jay-Z with him on 106 in Park. That's something that 50 talked about. He said if he would have known that Kanye was bringing out the big guns at BET 106 in Park for the face-off between Graduation and Curtis, if he would have knew Kanye was bringing out Jay-Z, 50 said himself that he would have actually brought out Eminem to combat that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that would have boosted 50's sales on Curtis, Because as I was talking about it, Curtis like had so many failed singles between Amusement Park, Straight to the Bank, Ayo Technology with Justin Timberlake really failing to take off. Follow My Lead with you know what I mean, with Robin Thicke getting leaked and 50 just freaking out. You know what I mean? And I Get Money, the fifth single, finally being the one to pop. I Get Money should have been the one that started off that album. I Get Money, followed by, you know what I mean, followed by Ayo Technology with Justin Timberlake. Then you hit him with the Chick record. You know what I mean? Amusement Park. Same way that you did with Get Rich or Die Trying. You know what I'm saying? You didn't drop 21 Questions first. Why would you drop Amusement Park first, man? You were trying to repeat the success of Candy Shop. Woo! You was wildin' that year, Fifth. You was wildin'. But what am I to say? I'm not the you know what I mean? I'm not the A&R of G Unit. Rick Ross over 50, Stefan says. Rick Ross is the greatest rapper of all time. Rico Jordan says. Let me see where's that comment? Okay, yeah, Ross versus 50 would be lit. Dope matchup. At the end of the day, Curtis sold 700K at that time. Yeah, which was good. You know what I mean? Which was good. If he released on a different day than graduation, would he have sold more? Maybe. Maybe he would have sold an extra 100,000 copies because of the fact that, you know what I mean, the same people aren't going to some people aren't going to purchase two albums. So maybe he would have sold 800,000 and recreated the success of Get Rich or Die Trying. But Get Rich or Die Trying sold 800,000 2 weeks in a row. The Massacre 1.1 million in a short week. Let me see. Floyd's too fast for 50. That's what Rico Jordan says. That's been one of the biggest problems when it comes to Floyd in these fights, is that he's too fast. You know what I mean? A lot of people say that Floyd's fights aren't even really fights. They're just like him, you know what I mean, pulling back. You know, but that's his style, you guys. That's why he's what is he, 51-0 now, or is it 50-0? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Floyd Mayweather is on TMZ saying 50 get in line. Let's go over it, guys. TMZ has the report. Floyd Mayweather says to 50 Cent, 50 Cent wants to fight? I'll beat your ass too. Floyd Mayweather says he's all the way down to scrap with 50 Cent, telling the rapper to get in line and he'll beat his ass at the end of 2021. The 43-year-old boxing legend just laid out his schedule for the year, assuring his fans the postponed exhibition bout with Logan Paul will definitely happen before the end of the year. Okay, so they're saying it's postponed. They're saying it's going to happen. But Floyd has also touched on the other boxing challenges and responded to 50 Cent, who went on V103's The Morning Culture last week and said he'd love a crack at Floyd. Remember, 50 expressed concern that Floyd is too small and wouldn't agree to a catchweight, since Floyd usually fights at 150 pounds and 50 Cent is closer to 180 pounds. Me personally, I don't think that's that big of a difference, you guys. 180 pounds to 150 pounds? Like, come on now. Even though I think 50 weighs a little bit more than that. Share this video, everyone. Let's get 100 people in here. Hit that like button as well. Hell yeah, Randy. I love Red Bull, man. 50 got hands, Angel says. Don't get it twisted. Randy says, I know Jay helped those sales. Yo, on the Grind TV, I appreciate you checking in tonight, man. Okay. Eric says, but he's fighting people the same size with the same reach. 50 twice his size. Probably's got 10 inches of reach at least on Floyd. Very good note, Eric. Very good note on that. He's fighting people that are the same size with the same reach. 50 is literally twice his size and probably has 10 inches on Floyd. Rico Jordan says it will be a lucky hit fight. Eric Spencer, what up? Yeah, that Danny Garcia fight, man. Nate says he doesn't think Floyd could win, but Floyd has officially accepted it. TMZ is running with it, you guys. TMZ is running with it, so you know what that means. The next step is for the investors to come up. And if they come up with an investment for this fight of upwards of $20 to $50 million, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, you guys. You know what I mean? This is going to be a big payday. You know what I mean? This is why these guys are in the game. This is why Floyd Mayweather is actually willing to fight Logan Paul, because it's a major payday, and it actually could be less wear and tear on Floyd's body than actually if he was continuing on. What up, Street Plugs? Appreciate you for tuning in. Eric Spencer says, I'll pay to watch that. Yep. I'm telling you, 50 and Floyd on pay-per-view is money in the bank. So listen to this, guys. Remember, 50 expressed concern that Floyd is too small and wouldn't agree to a catch weight, since Floyd usually fights at 150 pounds and Mr. Cent is closer to 180. Now Floyd says size doesn't matter one bit. He'll happily accept 50's challenge. Can somebody in the chat look up how much Logan Paul weighs? Let's look up how much Logan Paul weighs. See if we can get it. Wait, Logan Paul, 189 pounds. Logan Paul is 189 pounds. So I don't see the issue there, guys. I don't see the issue there. So that can't be the issue. The weight cannot be the issue. As soon as we get a major promoter, who comes in on this and they get a distribution on the correct pay-per-view, network, we're gonna most likely see this fight, especially if it puts a payday. Like imagine 50 Cent got paid $5 million, I think it was 5.5 if I'm not mistaken, to do Get Rich or Die Trying. He can make that same payday in an hour long, 20-minute long fight. But that's not saying that's all it's going to take 20 minutes, because if they pay somebody a multi-million-dollar contract, they're going to be, and these guys are old friends. There's all types of shit that they could do, everyone. They could go on, all types of talk shows together. You know what I mean? Like all types of talk shows. Whoever is doing late night talk shows right now, these guys could actually go on the show together to promote their fight. You know what I mean? Anything. They could both go on the Mike Tyson podcast together. You know what I mean? Look at how many amazing moments they could actually create because of the fact that they do have a pre-existing friendship. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just because they signed the contract, it doesn't mean they're going to make $5 million or $7 million or $2 million, whatever it is. It doesn't mean they're just going to make that in 20 minutes. They're probably going to be expected to do a number of promotional dates. David Griffin says, people don't know how good 50 Cent is with his hands. Google says 50 is 200 pounds. Yep, I was just reading what it said on TMZ, my dude. We all know that 50 actually in one interview said that at one point he had to lose a lot of weight for the Things Fall Apart movie, if I'm not mistaken on that title. But 50 had to go down to, a substantially low weight. Joints 36 says, money will be the issue, Mikey T. Yeah, money's going to be the issue. But if a worthwhile promoter comes in and puts up that bag, like 100 million, 75 million, you know what I mean, and thinks there's money to be made on that, Jason Anthony says, line that fight up with Fifth and Floyd, and I'm going to pay for that fight. I'll take 50, Jason says. Jason Wright says, not going to happen because it's winner take all. No, I don't think it's winner take all, man. I think everybody, you know what I mean? Floyd had said when he fought Conor that he got a significantly bigger chunk of change than Conor actually got. You know what I mean? It's all the way you negotiate. It's all the way you market yourself. You know what I mean? When we see in these battle raps, like I do interview with Cassidy, he got paid more than certain rappers. Everyone doesn't get, you know what I mean? They don't get paid the same amount. Randy asks, who do I think? If it was a fight, who do I think? Now, just like I said earlier, 50 Cent kind of measured up to Floyd, sort of like how he measured up with Ja Rule, right? So you can't just say 50's going to win the fight. You can't just say 50's going to win the fight because he's bigger. Honestly, Floyd is the more trained fighter. What's the last fight we heard about 50 having when he smacked Game in the middle of recording? You know what I mean? When he threw that table at that guy trying to get his autograph. I'm going to have to go with Floyd here, you guys. Floyd knows combinations. Floyd is fighting almost every day of his life, still in preparation for fights that he's, paid to do every year almost, even since his retirement. He's been paid to do fights. So that means he's been training. Joint says Cormega versus 50. That's a, I've met and interviewed Cormega as well. That's a similar stature as well, you guys. These G Unit guys are big, man. 50, Yayo, Banks, all these dudes are huge. You know what I mean? When they was around dudes like Mobb Deep, they towered over them, man. Yeet. Without gloves, you still believe that, Mikey? Yeah, I think without gloves, Floyd would still take 50. Floyd's fists are probably worse without gloves. Are you kidding me right now? Kidding me right now? Come on, I'm not going to put nothing past Floyd. He's probably the greatest fighter in the world. Rockin headgear? Rockin headgear. You are hilarious, Eric. I don't think they'll be rocking headgear. I don't think it's going to be a Roman Greco wrestling match, my dude. It's going to be a boxing match. You know what I mean? Probably a co-production of 50's boxing. If they do it right, it would be, the money team and 50's production behind whatever Showtime. Am I reaching? Am I reaching there, guys, to say that Showtime would do it? Come on, we know how many networks 50 is in cahoots with right now? Would it make 50 look crazy to the networks, you guys, if he lost this fight? You know what I mean? All the networks that he deals with when he goes and has meetings with them, and they're like, so we saw the fight you were in, Fifth. It didn't turn out so good for you. Would that make him look crazy? Boogie Down Bronx said Floyd is definitely a good fighter. He's straight science boxer. Hussein says Floyd is a Hall of Famer, undefeated. 50 Cent is just an entertainer. Big difference. Right. I don't doubt that 50 can fight. I would never doubt that 50 can fight. Obviously, he has a long history. You know what I mean? He has a long history, tournaments, all types of different things like that. But I'm just saying, Floyd Mayweather is in a whole different bracket. Like when you look at 50 and, he's on my top list of rappers of all time. I had him at number 7. You know what I mean? I had him at number 7, I believe. Right after, number 6, Nas, number 7, 50, So I had 50 on my top list of music performers of all time, but Floyd Mayweather, you know what I mean? When it comes to boxers, he's right there with the greatest boxers of all time. Even though you put 50 with Pac and Big in a lot of situations, you know what I mean? You put Floyd with Tyson and Ali in a lot of situations. So, but it's two different fields. You're telling me 50 is going to come into Floyd's field and we're going to say 50 is going to win? There's no way, no chance in hell of that happening. This man is leaving his field. You know what I mean? Music and entertainment, and going into boxing and entertainment. Facts. Angel, what did Angel say? Showtime definitely will broadcast that. It won't affect him. It's just a boxing match, nothing street. Showtime producing that fight would put it in so many different households. You know what I mean? It would sell. You know what I mean? I think it would sell more units than the Logan Paul and 50 Cent match. Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather match. I think that'll be a big money grabber for the end of the year. That's why Floyd is saying here, you guys, that hold up, 50. Get in line and you'll get your ass whooped. Get in line and you're going to get your ass whooped, 50. You know what I'm saying? That's what Floyd told him. He's like, I got this thing I got to do with Logan Paul. Logan Paul's been calling him out. Logan Paul wanted to go pull up on Soulja Boy and fight Soulja Boy. So obviously he's been trolling Floyd Mayweather. So now Floyd is going to go get that bag. You know what I'm saying? Floyd is going to go get that bag, but then he's going to double back and get another bag. He's doing 2 fights this year. Man, Floyd, you getting money right now. I remember one video, Gilly and I spoke on Floyd Mayweather's $18 million watch. That's like little Uzi Vert getting a $24 million diamond put right there in his forehead. Floyd Mayweather with his $18 million watch. Nobody is going to look worse than that Nate Robinson. Yeah, that's who it is. Nate Robinson, who actually got knocked out by Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul. That's why I was a little thrown off. I was like, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. It's like these brothers, like Jake Paul is trying to fight Connor. So his brother Logan is trying to call out Floyd, but now the Floyd and Logan situated, you know what I mean? Stamped, sealed. They just need to get the right time and the right people, the amount of people actually tuning in that want to see it. Because there's been speculation of lack of interest, but right now we're in a pandemic anyways. It's not about actually having a crowd of people there to watch the fight. It's about people ordering it on the pay-per-view network or streaming it on whatever platform that they put it on. Share this video. That's right. Share this video, everyone. Hit the like button as well, you guys. Appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight. We're reading an article from TMZ where 50 Cent had challenged Floyd Mayweather. We're going to get into that right here. 50 Cent actually challenged Floyd Mayweather. 50 Cent said, "I'd love to fight Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd's too small." 50 Cent said there's one guy that he'd love to punch in the face, Floyd Mayweather, but he doesn't think Floyd would ever agree to throw down. Everyone knows the backstory. 50 and Floyd used to be super tight, but they've had several falling outs over the years, and it seems like the relationship is still fractured. So when 50 appeared on V103's The Morning Culture Show Friday and was asked who he'd like to square off against in a celebrity boxing match, it wasn't too shocking when the rapper dropped Floyd's name. "I'd fight Floyd," 50 Cent said, adding, "I don't think I can make weight though." 50 pointed out Floyd usually fights around 150 pounds, which we've actually just proven. Logan Paul, 189 pounds. 50 pointed out that Floyd usually fights around 150 pounds, and the 45-year-old rapper says there's just no way he can slim down to match Floyd's weight. 50 claims that, excuse me, guys, totally messed up. Just give me 1 second. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you share this video, everyone. Okay, no, we are straight. We are good to go. We are Gucci. Yeah, 50 would have to drop weight. Hit that like button every time Mikey sips his Red Bull. You guys, you know what it's already almost time for. Everyone roll up. Roll up. Let me know when you rolled up, guys. Boogie Down Bronx said, "This is definitely reaching my opinion. I'd love for it to happen, but highly doubt it." Well, Boogie Down, listen to what I'm reading off right now. 50 is throwing out the challenge here. He said, "I'd love to fight Floyd." 50 Cent said, adding, "I don't think I can make weight though." 50 pointed out Floyd usually fights around 150 pounds, and the 45-year-old rapper says there's just no way he can slim down to match Floyd's weight. 50 claims the last time he dropped on 150, "I looked like a homeless person." Instead, 50 says he thinks he could fight at 180 pounds, which is closer in weight to Floyd's next opponent, Logan Paul, who weighs right around 190 pounds. Let's get serious, everyone. Everyone would watch 50 versus Floyd, especially since 50 has a real boxing training under his belt and reportedly stays in solid shape. Remember, the two used to be super tight. 50 famously walked Floyd to the ring when he fought Oscar De La Hoya back in the day. But they've since beefed about everything from Floyd's reading skills to 50's financial situation, and the hatchet appears to be far from buried. So Floyd, you down? And this was reported by TMZ on the 29th of January, and Floyd has responded as of today. Floyd Mayweather has responded as of today, you guys. So it took Floyd only about 4 days to respond to this message that's been floating all over the internet. You know what I mean? This message has been floating all over the internet, and now Floyd has responded. Floyd Mayweather says, 50 Cent wants to fight? I'll beat your ass too, for everyone just tuning in. Floyd Mayweather says he's all the way down to scrap with 50 Cent, telling the rapper to get in line and he'll beat his ass at the end of 2021. The 43-year-old boxing legend just laid out his schedule for the year, assuring fans that the postponed exhibition bout with Logan Paul will definitely happen before the end of the year. But Floyd also touched on other boxing challenges and responded to 50 Cent, who went on V103's The Morning Culture last week and said he'd love a crack at Floyd. So right there, you guys, Floyd broke it down. He said 50 could get these hands at the end of 2021, basically letting everyone know that the fight with Logan Paul, though postponed, is not canceled. Floyd ain't missing out on that bag. Simple as that. Major people in the game have weighed in on this fight, like Dana White from the UFC, and said that Logan Paul is just looking at an ass whooping. Iceberg said, who remembers when 50 was dissing Floyd for not being able to read? Floyd took that personal. Yeah, I remember that. That was really harsh. That was really harsh of 50 to poke fun at his old, really good friend. He actually said, remember what he said, you guys? He said, I will pay Floyd. I'm not sure how much money it was. He said he would pay Floyd to read a page of the Harry Potter book. Do you remember that, guys? How disrespectful was that? First of all right, you can call me out on not being able to read, but do not call me out and dare me to read Harry Potter. Don't dare me to read Harry Potter, damn it. Don't do it. That's when you've gone too far. Hussein says, does it matter if you can't read when you're damn near a billionaire? Yes, it does matter. You know what I mean? Especially somebody putting your business out there like that. You know what I mean? 50 always tries to manipulate the public's view on somebody. You know what I mean? That's why Young Buck recently, he did the interview on DJ Vlad, and Vlad and Adam 22 were actually talking about the whole transgender situation and basically how 50 made the general public believe that all that shit was true, but Buck didn't have as big of a fan base to let everybody know it wasn't. So yes, you know what I mean? 50 using his fan base, basically what is the whole world knows about 50 from the article about him getting shot 9 times and then he developed a mass amount of fans after that. Yeah, 50 basically manipulates the media into shit like that. Now everyone literally thinks Floyd Mayweather can't read. And I bet you that's a bit far from the truth, you guys. I bet you that's a bit far from the truth. Some bullshit, even though they got one video of Floyd flubbing up on some sentences that he was reading. And now 50 probably, you know what I mean? Like, don't believe everything that somebody says like that, man. Whoever is thinking that Buck is out there every day looking for dudes, you know what I mean? Like, you're wilding, man. Come on. Angel says 50 said that he'll give Floyd 50 G's if he can read 2 pages of the Doctor Suggests book. I thought it was Harry Potter. Angel, didn't he say something about him to read a page of Harry Potter? I thought Iceberg said, I thought he said the Dr. Seuss book. LOL. Nah, still though, 50 ain't have to reveal that to the world. They was friends. Yeah, he put Floyd's business out there. And when you do something like that, when you put somebody's business out there like that, that is a 100 millionaire, like he's never going to forgive you. Like he's never going to really forgive you. He's never really going to hold you in the same regard that he once did. So, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like that whole situation is kind of messed up. You see what I mean, Devon? Now Buck's been caught twice or 3 times, and now Buck liked a tweet on Twitter. You know what I mean? All this BS news that somebody can spread just because they have 20 million followers. Devon, was the way that Floyd deaded 50 on 2 million, was that because he didn't want to do the boxing thing with him? He didn't want to merge their companies or some shit like that from back in the day. He didn't really want to help 50's boxing company. You know, Floyd didn't really want to. Sometimes when you're dealing with somebody and you have such a good friendship with them, you know what I mean? You have such a good friendship with them. You know what I mean? It seems to me like Floyd and 50 had a similar relationship that Tyson and Pac had, but they were even much closer than them. You know what I mean? So when you got a certain friend like that, you really don't want to mix the business with the personal relationship, because the business could strain things. You know, Floyd probably knew, like, yo, every boxing company doesn't work out. My boxing company, the money management team, is working out because I'm Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes your friends won't want to believe that it'll be too hard for them to hear that. Jason says it was Harry Potter, and then it switched to Dr. Seuss because Harry Potter was too difficult. Yeah, man, that would piss me off if somebody challenged me to read a page from the Goblet of Fire from Harry Potter. What the hell? 50, man, why do you even know about those books? 50, why do you even know about the Harry Potter books, man? I know about the Harry Potter books because I was in middle school when they came out and shit like that. But okay. Fly Prolific, what's popping, man? I appreciate you for tuning in tonight. Fly Prolific says, if it's an official boxing match with boxing rules, 50's gonna lose. A street fight, Floyd don't got a chance. Well, obviously, it would be an official boxing fight. You know what I mean? Because they're going to do it officially. They're going to do it in a sanctioned environment. It's not going to be no WWF match, you know what I mean, where they're actually able to grapple with one another and shit and pull people's head back and shit like that. It's going to be a fight where you're not allowed to use your feet. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fight that anybody would see on television. Okay. Hussein says 50 lost all his friends and family for his success. Seventh, the rapper, what's good? Yeah, Nesty says Floyd record speak for itself, works for himself. I think Floyd's record is better than 50's record. You know what I mean? 50's record is kind of like muddled. 50's record is kind of messed up with his music releases. Hussein says size doesn't matter, even in the streets. I've seen plenty of big dudes fall down. Kareem says, don't forget 50 Cent boxed as well. Salute, Mikey T. Salute, Kareem. Appreciate you for tapping in. Yeah, we were definitely touching on that. The fact that 50 has been known to be in tournaments, you know what I mean? That 50 has been known to box in his younger years. We definitely tapped in on that. Yeah, 50 cold diss Floyd with the reading of the book. You know what I mean? 50 took a cheap shot right there. When you take sometimes, like, in all honesty, you guys, like, back in the day, people who older than us, they would drop out of school in like 8th grade, 9th grade. You know what I mean? It wasn't until our generation where our parents were like, yo, you're going to school till the 12th grade. And that's that. Back in the day, in the earlier years, like in the 70s and shit like that, these kids would be dropping out of school like nothing, just staying home, getting a job. You know what I mean? Like, so for Floyd to really not have that much of an education, I don't know if he graduated or if he dropped out at a young year, but I could definitely sympathize with him, straying away from the studies of school and actually having to go out there and get a job or train to make something for himself. You know what I mean? I can sympathize with Floyd Mayweather in that aspect. Hussein says, Mike, I swear you would be the perfect commentator for the Black Prime fight March 6th. Yeah, I probably would. Me and Gilly would kill that shit. Me, Gilly, and Wallow, you know what I mean? Me and Wallow getting back together for the Cash Money East. You know what it is. Cash Money East, baby. Wallow already knows I'm his lead A&R. Yup, Ness, 50 only has a music career. Boxing is different. I was saying it earlier. 50 and Floyd, like 50 is stepping into Floyd's arena with this. You know what I mean? Why? Because that's where the money's at. That's where the money's at in the boxing. You're not going to challenge Floyd to do a music contest. Cash Money East, baby. Yo, somebody screenshot that and send it to Wallow. Let him know it's our new logo. Cash Money East, baby. Cash Money East. Yo, who wants to sign? Who am I going to sign? In the chat, do you want to sign the Cash Money? Gabriel says that Floyd wants to smoke. So, all right. So remember, guys, 50 expressed concern that Floyd is too small and wouldn't agree to a catch fight since Floyd usually fights at 150 pounds and Mr. Cent is closer to 180 pounds. Now Floyd has responded to the comments about size, you guys. Floyd says size doesn't matter one bit. He'll happily accept 50's challenge. I also heard that 50 Cent would fight me, but claims I'm too small, Floyd said on IG. If he wants to lace up at the end of the year, we can do it in an exhibition then. This is how they throw all the rules out, you guys, in these new exhibition fights. Why? Because there's mad money in it. because there's mad independent promoters and connected promoters who want to do these fights. You know what I mean? I just saw on Vlad that Aaron Carter has a fight coming up with Lamar Odom in Atlantic City. I might go to that shit just because it's right down the road. Man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Share this video. Let's get 100 people in here. We're talking about Floyd Mayweather and 50 Cent. It would be the fight of 2021, you guys. It'd be bigger than Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. It'd be bigger than Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. You know what I mean? Conor McGregor just got his ass whooped. So, you know what I mean? Nobody really wants to see him jump back in the ring. I don't think we're any closer to Pacquiao and Mayweather, too. Uh, uh, uh. Maybe because 50 knows him personally, he knows the weaknesses Floyd's opponents don't. I don't know. I don't think 50 is going to be able to catch up with Floyd. I don't think 50 is going to be able to catch up to Floyd when they box, man, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to him. He'll probably hit him a few times for sure. You know what I mean? I would like to see that fight, though. It would be a little bit more interesting if it happened at the end of the year, too. Yeah, drag it out a little bit. Make it happen at the end of the year, because then potentially we could get a bigger crowd. You know what I mean? Then potentially we could actually have a crowd, because you know, everything's changing right now to the point where crowds are being allowed to, like, the Super Bowl and shit right there. No Name was popping. I appreciate you for tuning in tonight. Rob Heat ATV says it wouldn't really be a fight, though. What do you mean it wouldn't be a fight, man? Please explain yourself when you say that. Would it sort of just be Floyd dancing around 50, dodging his fights and hitting him in the ribs, hitting him in the face? I don't think Floyd would knock 50 out. That's the thing with the whole weight difference. That's the whole thing with the weight difference, you guys. I don't think Floyd would be able to knock 50 out. What do you guys think? Ness, that's exactly what I was saying. Nesty said Floyd is a master of his craft. Floyd is a master of his craft. Well, guys, honestly, you know, just to be honest with you guys, to do extra streaming, to get unlimited streaming, it's actually $20 a month, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. So if anybody wants to drop something in the Cash App, we can get the guys back on the show. Cash App. Hit that Cash App, Mikey T Movie, if you want to support the show. If you guys want to see the return of the Circle of Wealth podcast, it's actually, you only get like 20 hours a month on live stream. So we're only going to be able to bring you that every once in a while. If anybody wants to hit that Cash App, though, hit me off $20. You know what I'm saying? We can get the Circle of Wealth podcast back. Just to be 100% honest with you guys. Okay. Ness says that his money is on Mayweather. Eric says if Floyd wins, it's by points. If 50 wins, it's by KO. Yeah, that's saying that 50 would actually be able to get in there and land a couple heavy haymakers. You know what I'm saying? That 50 could actually get in there and land a couple heavy haymakers on Floyd Mayweather, actually. Hit the like button right now. 87 people in here. Hit that like button right now if you think Floyd Mayweather would actually beat 50 Cent in this exhibition fight. Hit that like button. I'm about to get my lighter, and we fitting to light up. Robert Casey was popping. Yeah, we got a dope show tonight, man. When you know you got a dope show when you're reading an article and Floyd Mayweather is accepting the fight. Listen to this, guys. Now this is on TMZ Sports. Major salute to TMZ and TMZ Sports. If you guys are hiring, come and pick me up. Now Floyd says size doesn't matter one bit. He'll happily accept 50's challenge. I also heard that 50 Cent would fight me. This is from Floyd Mayweather, you guys. I also heard that 50 Cent would fight me, but claims I'm too small, Floyd said on Instagram. If he wants to lace up at the end of the year, we can do it. Exhibition style then. I don't care what weight class with any of these guys. The Paul brothers will make great money with the events, but with 50, it has to be winner takes all. What? What, you guys? That is crazy. That is crazy. Somebody actually just said it in the chat. Somebody actually just said it in the chat, you guys, that it was going to be winner take all, and that's actually true. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. We are back. I was just reading that last joint, and it kind of shocked me. It said that actually, he said, I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. The Paul brothers will make great money with the events, but with 50 Cent, it has to be winner takes all. Wow, that really shocked me right there. So Floyd Mayweather is basically saying that this fight is too personal. Floyd Mayweather is saying that this fight is too personal to actually give 50 a profit off of it, because he knows that, going into this fight with Logan Paul, that they're going to make a lot of money. The Pauls, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, doing all these boxing matches, they're taking their celebrity to the next level, plus adding millions of dollars to their bank account. He says that it's got to be winner take all with 50. And the reason for that, I think, it's got to be because 50 actually has made it personal with Floyd. He doesn't want 50 to benefit off of this whatsoever. I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. As it was noted, Logan Paul's about 190 pounds. So 50's whole conversation about Floyd not wanting to fight and wanting to stay within the 150 bracket, that's off. Well, I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. The Paul brothers will make great money with the events, but with 50 Cent, it has to be winner takes all. What a crazy joint. Floyd Mayweather actually posted on his Instagram. He said, this year I will focus on several exhibitions. I will have an exhibition in Tokyo, Japan again. Of course, the one with Logan Paul and I. And if Jake Paul can get past his next opponent, I will have an exhibition with him as well. I also, so before we get into the last part of this Instagram post, Floyd Mayweather is willing to take 4 fights this year, you guys. Floyd says he's going to spend the year making money pretty much, doing these exhibition fights, another fight in Japan. As I mentioned earlier, he was in Asia, but he also says if Jake Paul can get past his next opponent after knocking out Nate, he'll fight his brother. He'll fight both the Paul brothers in the same year. Can you guys believe that? Floyd Mayweather is basically going to be a fighting machine this year. And then he went on to address 50 Cent. He said, and I also heard that 50 Cent would fight me, but claims I'm too small. If he wants to lace up at the end of the year, we can do an exhibition. We can do an exhibition then. I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. The Paul brothers will make great money with the events, but with 50 Cent, it has to be winner take all. Floyd Mayweather doesn't want to break any bread with the G-Unit General 50 Cent. He doesn't want 50 to make any money off of his name. And guys, now I'm going to have to agree with that stipulation of 50 not being able to actually make any money on the fight. I don't think 50 will accept. I think 50 will leave it in the air at this point. I think 50 will leave it in the air. Floyd don't rap. He box, right? Okay, these runts on my neck, 50 going to get beat regardless, my opinion. Facts at 10 million. Jason Anthony Fly. That's what I read was in the stance. 50 is left-handed, though, unless you see something different. Okay, Jason and 50 a lefty, then yeah, he's a southpaw. I thought he was right-handed. You was right, though. Okay. No telling what Floyd does with it. Actually, damn. If Floyd won, you guys, I could see Floyd going all over the internet would like, yo, this is all the money that I won from the 50 fight. I'm gonna blow it. I'm gonna do this with it. I'm gonna do that with it. Like Floyd would make a mockery out of all the money he made off of 50. Eric says, Floyd saying, where's my money, 50? I need my money, 50, by December. I need my money by December, 50. That is crazy, you guys. There's more. Floyd also says he's down to fight Logan's little brother, Jake. Okay, my bad if I said that Jake was the older brother of Logan. I'm pretty sure Jake is much more popular than Logan, though. But I don't really follow those guys too much. I mean, if they want to put me on the bankroll and hire me to work on their YouTube channel, hell yeah, I'm willing, guys. What's up with the Pauls? Let's get it popping. So there's more. Floyd also says he's down to fight Logan's little brother, Jake Paul, but only if he defeats his upcoming opponent when they face off in April. So I guess Jake Paul has a match coming up in April with Ben Askren. Also on the schedule, 43-year-old Floyd Mayweather says he plans to take another exhibition fight in Tokyo, just like he did back in 2018 when he beat the dog snot out of the undefeated kickboxer Tenshin Nasuaka. Yep, I remember seeing that. And they say here on TMZ that he beat the dog snot out of the undefeated kickboxer, just like he did with Conor McGregor. I mean, he knocked Conor McGregor out, and McGregor was on, like this. He was nodding out against the ropes. Yep. Shit's crazy. I'm about to get back to the comments, though. Just give me a second. What y'all smoking tonight? What y'all smoking on tonight? Don't forget the shoulder roll, too. Yep, the shoulder roll. Nah, 50 Floyd and T.I. the better match? Nah, hell no. They're more the same size. Yeah, I'll give you that. They're more the same size. Iceberg says you don't like his duck and dodge strategy, Prolific. Prolific says that shoulder roll looks so scripted to me because I'll punch right through that dumb shit. Ness says easy money. Jake who? Jake Paul. Jake Paul. Wedding cake and guava. Okay. Yo, Poughkeepsie, New York. I was just in the town over right by Poughkeepsie. That's where my brother Jerry shot the slap face. What's a couple towns that are by Poughkeepsie, man? I remember passing Poughkeepsie when I was driving to New York to go film my brother's movie. It was actually in the same area that artist that Drake had signed. Who was that artist that Drake had signed? Not The Weeknd, not McConan. Who's the other Drake artist that he had signed? Guys in the chat, who's the other guy that Drake signed from New York? Derek, hell no, I don't think 50 can beat Floyd in the ring. I think it was Newberg. Yeah, T.I. would probably get beat by Floyd Mayweather. So it wouldn't really. That's why you got to have somebody who has a little bit of edge on Floyd, you guys. Yup. Party Next Door. 100%. Yeah, Party Next Door. I seen he was in up near Poughkeepsie, New York. Yep. Yep. My brother filmed a movie out there called Slapface. Everybody probably heard me talking about Slapface, the new horror movie. They turned my brother Jerry's short film into a feature-length film. One of the producers from The Grudge came and hollered at my brother Jeremiah Kipp and was like, yo, this movie Slapface that you did is dope. I want to get behind it. I want to be the executive producer. So we got one of the executive producers of The Grudge actually producing my brother Jerry's new film. So guys, we fitting to be out of here. We fitting to be out of here. All new everything. I was talking to one of the homies. I was like, everybody be yeah, you already know that. I was about to turn that into a Gucci. I was about to go buy. I probably had to order it. I was gonna go order the Gucci curtain so I could really mess with y'all. Damn right. It's all about consistency, Fred. I've kept my name in the blog since 2009. You know what I mean? I had French Montana telling me on the phone a few months ago. French was like, yo, Mikey T, honestly, if I would have knew you weren't signed back in the day, I would have signed you. That's what French Montana was telling me on the phone a few months ago. No, I never worked with Complex News. I was going to do a partnership with Complex. My homie from All Hip Hop actually plugged me in with Complex at the very early stages of what they were doing, like back when like Hot Wings just first started and shit, and they put my shit on the Complex network actually. Yeah. Well, Fly Prolific, maybe French tells everybody that, like Little Dirk and Chinks, you know what I mean? And Manolo Rose, you know what I mean? And Pop Smoke, you know what I mean? But put me with that list, Mikey T, the movie star. Put me among that list of dope MCs that French Montana has wanted to work with and shit. JJ Mill was popping. What you mean, what a small world? Was popping though? Frederick says, your show channels my brain. Salute to you, man. Go check out the new interviews I dropped today with Bon Simmons, actually speaking on the OTF controversy with Little Dirk, as well as my feature-length interview with Bill Collector. That's right, from Reading. I actually rode out to Reading probably last year, and I filmed the interview with Bill Collector, which was dope. Not prolific. I want to do the Gucci curtains. I don't smoke cigarettes. Eric, if you want to see the bars, hit that Cash App, because if anybody wants to see, you know what I mean, the return of bars to the show, hit that Cash App right now, and we'll get the bars back on the show. Like I said, all you guys got to do, donate to the channel if you want to see more episodes like what we've been doing, you know, with us bringing in different rappers and shit to spit. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if that was actually CJ in that video, you guys. I don't know if that was CJ in that video. That video didn't look too clear to me, to be 100% honest with you guys. And I'm cool with French, so you ain't going to see no crazy ass videos like that. Like I did a video a couple days ago speaking on 22Gs and CJ. You know what I mean? And speaking on how different outlets were actually shitting on CJ and saying that he was a ripoff. You know what I mean? And then I was talking about how it wasn't cool that 22Gs actually said that CJ was like 6'9". Like, no, that's not cool to throw that on somebody's jacket. You know what I mean? Don't put that shit on somebody's jacket that they're like 6'9". First of all, I interviewed with 22Gs and he knew that 6'9" was a bitch. Like he told me personally, he's like, nah, 6'9" isn't really like that. Like he lives right up the street is what 22Gs told me. You know, when I met 22Gs in Brooklyn and shit. 22Gs is a good ass dude though. I think he's got the net on smash right now. You know what I mean? I think they lost a little bit of momentum when Kodak went away, you know, because Kodak was just taking interest in him and shit. Yeah, Bill Collector is a dope ass talent, man. Yeah, I just don't think it's cool to put that shit on somebody's jacket. You know what I mean? As Gillian Waller would say, don't put that mustard on my jacket. You know what I mean? Yo, 10 million. You know, if you want to see the other channel gang return, hit that Cash App. Mikey T Movie. If you want to see the Return of the Circle of Wealth podcast, support the channel, you guys. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody tuning in, but also I appreciate support. You know what I mean? If you guys want to see the Return of the Circle of Wealth podcast, just hit that joint. You know what I mean? Live streaming is something you can only do 20 hours a month. And so if anybody wants to see it more consistently, just hit that Cash App. You know what I mean? We'll come at you you know what I mean? Every single other day, you know, new hip hop stories, and I'll bring Majestic and RBH back on and shit. Savannah Baby, what's popping? I appreciate you for tapping in. Cool. Okay. Yo, I appreciate that $10 Cash App donation for real. I really do. Let me see who it was from. Raul. Oh, okay. Savannah Baby. I appreciate you. That's some real shit right there. You know what I mean? Like I say, when I say it, you guys, like, people sometimes ask, yo, why are you donate to the channel for what? So you could see more content like this. Because honestly, you know, I'd love to bring more people in on the channel like we do. We bring in a lot of rappers in to spit, you know, doing different verses style things. You know what I mean? Also, my co-hosts, Majestic and RBH, St. Louis and New Haven. It's always dope to have different perspectives. Is it confirmed, and by what media outlets? Well, Robert, I'm actually reading off of TMZ right now. And basically, this is what Floyd said on his Instagram. Floyd basically wrote on his Instagram that he accepted the fight from 50. He's saying, listen, I'm a little busy this year, but we can get it popping at the end of the year. This is right directly from Floyd Mayweather's Instagram, you guys. 513,000 likes. This year, I will be focusing on several exhibitions. I will have an exhibition in Tokyo, Japan again, and of course, the one with Logan Paul and I. And if Jake Paul can get past his next opponent, Ben Askren, I will have an exhibition with him as well. I also heard that 50 Cent would like to fight me, but claims I'm too small. If he wants to lace up at the end of the year, we can do an exhibition then. I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. That's what Floyd says. He doesn't care about weight class. That was one of 50's things in when he went to that radio show. He said, I don't think Floyd will fight me. Because I think Floyd likes to stay in the weight class of the 150 pounds. But 50 was mistaken because Floyd's actually fighting Logan Paul. Floyd is fighting Logan Paul, who is 189 pounds, I think I read. He's 190 pounds, you guys. So Floyd says weight doesn't matter. But this is one thing that I think will matter to 50 Cent. Cincinnati tuned in. I appreciate you. Who's saying, well, I actually got offered to do an interview with 6ix9ine. I actually got offered to do an interview with 6ix9ine. My boy was actually booking him throughout Europe and shit. And he was like, yo, you should fly out to Spain and do this interview with 6ix9ine. And I was like, no, I don't want to fly out to Spain and do an interview with 6ix9ine. I'm straight. Even though they had the complete access to him at that point when he was out in Europe and shit. You know what I mean? I'm not going out there to work with 6ix9ine. First of all, we had an opportunity to book 6ix9ine at our nightclub, my homie Murda's nightclub in Connecticut. And no, he wouldn't book 6ix9ine. My dude Murda is of another stature. You know what I mean? He's had the dopest people come out to Connecticut. Like, we brought Fetty Wap, we brought DMX to Connecticut, we brought the Baby to Connecticut, we brought Little Durk to Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Who else? You know, King Von, rest in peace, King Von. We brought him to Connecticut twice. You know, he came. King Von came and performed with Little Durk. And, you know, he left such an impression that my homie Murda actually brought King Von back. I was up on stage with King Von, and I was looking into the crowd as Von was performing, and I was like, holy shit, the crowd knows his lyrics word by word. I'm like, damn, this dude is lit. You know, I had to introduce myself to King Von that night, and I was telling my homies, I was like, yo, that's King Von. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's King Von right there. And because I had started to see that he was bubbling online and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, man. My dude put out all types of cash for different acts to come out to Connecticut. I'm talking big money. You know what I'm saying? But 30,000 on Fetty Wap. You know what I'm saying? Who else did they do? Who's that chick that said to eat the booties with the groceries? You know what I'm saying? We brought her out to Connecticut. My dude has done major things. Fabulous and Jadakiss, right when they were doing the Freddie vs. Jason album. You know what I mean? We did their release party with Flex. You know what I'm saying? In Connecticut. Nah, my dude doesn't bring out people to Connecticut like that. And he has the most popping club in Connecticut as well. But he didn't want to bring 6ix9ine to Connecticut. He didn't want to bring Rollo to Connecticut. You know what I mean? I asked him, I was like, yo, can we bring Rollo to Connecticut? Can we bring Rollo's pretty popping? But nah, he doesn't like to mess with these dudes who have a little bit of a crazy street image. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to be able to match the music for real. Like there was some crazy shit that happened during the Baby concert, but just imagine what happens with a 6ix9ine concert. You got all type of liabilities there. Screw that. We don't do that type of shit. That's why I ain't gonna fly to Europe to interview 6ix9ine. And you know what, man? I didn't even make an attempt to go interview 6ix9ine like that. Bobby Shmurda, that's an artist that I attempted to interview because I got word when I was actually in Florida that Bobby Shmurda's family was out in Florida. Yeah, so that's an artist that I was actually interested in interviewing. Yeah, facts, Mikey T. You should interview these Chicago rappers. I actually interviewed SD. I did a couple shows with Chief Keef when he was at Orlando at Revolutions, King of Diamonds. I've interviewed Little Durk as well. You know, I've interviewed a few of the cats from Chicago, man. You know, I would love to do an interview with Rondo number 9, though. That's one of them that I would really love to do an interview with. Rondo number 9 for sure. But obviously getting the chance to interview Little Durk right when he had cut his hair, when Little Durk had just dropped the dreads and he really started making a name for himself. Like I was talking in my new interview with Bon Simmons about it. I was talking about how Durk was out in Miami working the record, This Ain't What You Want. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, Savannah, baby. You appreciate that Cash App donation for sure. But yeah, you guys, if you want to see the return of spitters to Report Card Radio, like if you guys want me to start bringing in all the spitters, hit that Cash App with a donation, you guys, and we're going to bring that show back to the people. You know what I mean? Because I love having an open space for the people to show off their talent. Okay. Devon Dennis, congratulations. You will never be able to comment on my channel again. The most poppin' hip-hop channel, the most consistent hip-hop channel. Okay. Robert asked, so who do you got? 50 or Mr. 50 and 0? I think it's 100% obvious. I guess you weren't tuned in a little bit earlier. I 100% got Floyd in the fight. You know what I mean? Whether it was a street fight, a fight that happened in their basement when they were playing PS5, you know what I'm saying? Because you know they got PS5. But whether it was a fight that happened when they were, you know what I mean, together chilling, you know what I mean? I think Floyd would beat 50 in a regular fight like that. I mean, 50 would actually have him with the grappling and be able to grab him and shit. But Floyd's fists are like what? They're like registered weapons or something like that, you guys. Floyd Mayweather is no joke. He's the greatest fighter in the world. You know what I mean? 50 Cent might be at one point the greatest rapper in the whole world, but we're not going into 50's element. We're not talking about Floyd Mayweather and how he was never able to really start a record label that went anywhere. We're not talking about that. Even though Floyd had mucho dinero to promote mad artists and shit. I even heard stories about Floyd Mayweather trying to buy record labels, you guys. Tried to buy a very big label. He tried to buy a very big independent label that housed one of our favorite rappers to ever exist. Yo, Danbury, Connecticut in the house. Floyd gonna beat that ass. Feel bad for 50 after all that workout shit. That's funny, yo. That's funny. So there's more. There's more. Yeah, guys, because I read that last part. 50 Cent would like to fight me, but claims I'm too small. This is right off of Floyd Mayweather's Instagram. If he wants to lace up, notice that term right there, lace up. If he wants to lace up at the end of the year, we can do an exhibition then. I don't care about weight class with any of these guys. The Paul brothers will make great money with the events. Okay, so listen to that. Floyd is saying the Paul brothers, because he's got to fight that's been postponed with Logan Paul. And he's saying if Jake Paul actually gets a win, he'll fight him this year. He's saying the Paul brothers will make great money with the events, but with 50 Cent, it has to be winner take all. He doesn't want 50 getting no money. He doesn't want 50 getting no money off of this show, off of this event. So that flips my whole perspective of the fight, to be honest with you guys. That really flips my whole perspective of the fight. If 50 stands a chance of making no money, why is he going to do it? There's no point in him doing it. There's no point in 50 actually doing the fight if he stands to make no money. And I'd say it's probably 80% chance. I'm going to go with 80. What do you guys in the chat think? I'd say it's about an 80% chance that Floyd Mayweather wins this fight if it were to ever happen. Now, if 50 was signing a guaranteed contract that was for 5 million or more, 10 million, you know what I'm saying? Or lower, 2.5 million. You know what I'm saying? If he was signing a guaranteed contract, I could imagine him doing it. Savannah says 90% chance. No. Here, let me go check. Okay, hold on. You're right. You are right, man. Wow, so 50 actually put out a challenge to Floyd. This is crazy. 50 actually put out a challenge of Floyd. He wanted Floyd to read 2 paragraphs from his Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Come on, why would Floyd do that? Why would Floyd actually do that? All that is promotion for Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Now, 50, what you should do is get together with Floyd and actually do a book with him. You know what I'm saying? You should make a book with Floyd Mayweather because that would be the real move. I'm not sure if Floyd has any books out already, but the way 50 has ruined his relationship with Floyd, you can just see it. The way Floyd says, if I do this fight, it's going to have to be winner take all. But yeah, 50's trolling here. 50's trolling here saying he's saying that Floyd is going to have to read 2 paragraphs of his book. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand, though, guys, this right here, it makes it even bigger because what's going to happen is a promoter is going to come and grab this fight idea, and a promoter is going to jump on it, and they're going to make the fight happen, and they're going to be like, listen, we've got $100 million for you guys to fight. You still going to turn it down if Floyd doesn't read 2 paragraphs from your book? You stand to make $30 million off this fight because Floyd would probably get 70. But but yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think the fight could generate $100 million. You know what I mean? From them to get paid. I think the interest around the fight could generate $100 million. You know what I mean? To be made, but that doesn't mean they're going to get paid 70 and 30. Yup, 50's back. 50's back to his jokes about Floyd not being able to read. He says, the fight is off because Floyd can't read 2 paragraphs of my New York Times bestseller. Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter on IG Live. So really, you're challenging him. You're challenging him to read it on IG Live. On IG Live, really? You want him to come on and read 2 paragraphs of your shit? Does Floyd Mayweather even jump on IG Live that? You know what I mean? Like, come on, 50. How about you actually get some other celebrities to read a paragraph from your book, to do some actual promotion for the book? I mean, it's a great book and all, but you know what you should do? You should have some of the people that you mentioned in the book actually reading excerpts from it. Like, you should have Gilly the Kid reading his part of the book. You should have Lloyd Banks reading his part of the book. You know what I mean? You should make shit like that happen. You know what I mean? That would be cool. Exactly, Iceberg. He wants Floyd to promote him on Instagram. So that's just trolling. That's just trolling, you guys. Like that's not gonna matter if you know what I mean? That's not gonna matter when a big promoter, say Dana White took interest in it or Showtime took interest in it. You know what I mean? Say they took interest in it and they put the fight together. But Floyd actually Yeah, Iceberg. What did you think of my method of promoting the Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter book? I think, you know what I mean? Like Justin Bieber one time did this promotion where he did this shit where he sent every different major celebrity some box that had to do with his single and he told them all to open it on Instagram or something. You got to do extra, you know what I mean, shit to promote your books and stuff. I knew he had a book. You kidding me? I knew he had a book. Randy, Iceberg is just saying that nobody knew 50 had this book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, like they knew From Pieces to Weight. And that's 100% accurate. From Pieces to Weight was a spectacle. From Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter went under the radar. Even though Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter has so many more interesting concepts from it than From Pieces to Weight. You know what I mean? Like it has like all the stuff from the industry that 50 had actually gone through. From Pieces to Weight wasn't about that. That was about the earlier life of 50. Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. Because I actually know about this shit. You know what I mean? I actually have read From Pieces to Weight. I haven't read Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, aside from a few different parts of it, though. Oh, the Prodigy book, man. I loved listening to that book. I loved listening to it. I actually listened to it. I don't think I read that book. I read Ja Rule's book. That was an interesting book. I've read a few books, man. It only takes me like I read 50's book in like a day and a half. Returned it. You know what I'm saying? I was a broke kid. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with no money like that. I was a broke kid. Sometimes you would have to get shit. I think I probably returned Ja Rule's book too. And that came out at a few, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't maybe you know, I mean, I read that shit mad quick, man. One of the best stories from Ja Rule's book was how he missed his first collaboration with Jay-Z. But 50's book was different. It went into all like his earlier life. You damn right I did. Scotland was popping. Appreciate you tuning in. Basically, we've been talking about Floyd Mayweather saying that he would accept 50 Cent's challenge regardless of the weight difference. You know, I think 50 kind of glossed over the fact that Floyd had been promoting this fight with Logan Paul because not many people give a damn about it. Like, if we're being honest, you know what I mean? It's kind of like weird that you know what I mean? It would have been a little bit better if he was fighting Jake. I mean, Logan had challenged Soulja Boy. Like, who really gives a shit? You know what I mean? You challenge Soulja Boy. Yeah, man. When I read the 50 book, I was like 16 years old or something like that. How old was I? You know, that shit came out in like what, you guys, 2004 or something like that? Nah. Some good ass sour. Let me see. Y'all is talking about 50's new book. Yeah, 2005, From Pieces of Weight to Come Up. I remember I was in New York. I was in New York visiting my brother Jeremiah Kipp, the director from the new movie Slapface. I was visiting my brother in New York, and I went to the bookstore and I brought the book real quick for like, I don't remember, $25, $20 or something like that. And I just was at my brother's house just reading the book, page after page after page after page. You know what I mean? Like a real one. You know what I'm saying? If you really read books and shit like that. So I power read 50's book. It was definitely an inspiring read and shit. Oh, wow. Ryan Jeffrey says, I believe if Floyd beats 50, 50 is going to be the Ja Rule of the industry. And you know, that's the thing about it right there. That's why I don't think 50 would accept this fight if it's winner take all. Are a lot of fights winner take all, you guys? Could anybody answer that for me in the chat? Are there a lot of fights out there that are known as winner take all? Because if 50 is going to get no money out of this, like there's potentially, he potentially shouldn't do it. Like if he's going to make a mega payday out of it, like $12 million or something like that, if he's going to make a mega payday out of it, then he should do it. But if he's got the potential to make $0, then no, 50 Cent should not do it. You guys give me 1 second. I'm about to go grab my other Red Bull from the whip. So just give me 1 second, you guys. D Henchman says, no fights are winner takes all. That doesn't happen. But Floyd Mayweather said, yeah, it's going to be winner take all if I do this fight with 50. He said, I'll do the fight with the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, and they're going to make a tremendous amount of money off of that fight. Anybody who fights Floyd Mayweather makes a lot of money, you guys. But Floyd is saying on his Instagram page, if he does the fight with 50 at the end of the year, hopefully at the end of the year, so there could be a crowd, right, you guys, that he wants it to be winner take all. But D Henchman says no fights are winner take all. That doesn't happen. So while I run out to get my Red Bull from the whip, I want you guys to talk about that and tell me, like, there are no winner take all fights and shit. Damn, yo, we lost everybody. Winner take all is unheard of, Iceberg said. Yeah, winner take all is unheard of. So Hussein said, I'm not going to lie, 50 changed the TV industry with his movies and shows. He's an entertainer, though. Yes, sir. Red Bull on deck. Everybody hit that like button. I just hit my Red Bull. Yep. That's exactly what I said, Savannah. That's exactly what I said. 50 wants to win all that money. 50 wants to win all that money and then blow it on Instagram Live or on TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Right. Right. Like my homie Smoke Dizzle would say. But yeah, we rocking out, man. I talked to RBH today, and we're gonna give it to you, man. We're gonna give it to you guys. The Chief Keef Finally Rich album review. I hope we can do that tomorrow. D says Mayweather fighting anybody is literally a stimulus package for any fighter. Pacquiao wife thanked Mayweather after because it was life-changing money. So to give 50 nothing, it shows how much you hate. Yeah, that's a big fact right there, Henchman. That's a big fact right there. The wording is a little bit funny when you say it's a stimulus package. It's a stimulus package for any fighter to fight Floyd Mayweather. It's crazy exposure, so many eyes on you, and so many dollars in your bank account. Hussein, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell people, like, actually streaming live, you can only do it 20 hours a month. If anybody wants to see me go more live, do more live videos with interaction, I need you guys to donate to the Cash App Mikey T Movie. It's like $20 a month to actually do unlimited streaming. So if you guys want to see the continuation and bring your homies on the channel to freestyle, hit that Cash App. You guys support the channel. Support the channel, you guys, if you want to see more interactive joints like that. You know what I mean? Because I definitely love letting people to come on the channel and just freestyle all night, man. And then we rate the battles and shit. That shit's lit. Major salute, Hussein. Where are you from? Some people don't have Cash App, I guess, if you're not in the United States. But if anybody like wants to bring their homies on the channel and shit and freestyle, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Sometimes we're going to bring people on to give their perspective, you know what I mean, as well. But a lot of people just, I love when people come on here and kick the freestyle bars. Hit that Cash App, though. So, yeah, Pieces the Weight 2005. Let's see, Ja Rule's book release. No, that's not the book I'm talking about. But yeah, actually, I did a couple interviews with Bangum Smurf in response to Ja Rule's book, where he talked about the fights that had happened with 50. Ja Rule actually spoke on the fights that happened with 50 in Atlanta and shit. Yup. Ramadan Mufasa. Yeah, 50 has, you know, the BMF money. And I was actually just reading that 50 said that he has like what 10 shows in the works or 7 shows. I don't want to over exaggerate, but you know what I mean? He said he had a number of shows in the works off several different platforms. And I think 50 has really found his market when it comes to television. You want to know why I think 50 has found his mark when it comes to television? Why did Jimmy Iovine tell 50 that television is going to be where you make your name? I'm going to tell you guys why. This is why. Because we as fans of 50 Cent, we want to see his work more. We want to see his work quicker. We want to see it more consistently. We'd like to see his work once a week. That's why he works better on television. With movies, you only get to catch up with somebody 3 times a year, 4 times a year, maybe in some cases 5 or 6 times a year, but most likely you only get 2 to 3 films a year, you know, where you actually get to showcase yourself. So you basically get a film every quarter. You know what I'm saying? With television, we get to see a lot more of 50 Cent on a more consistent basis. That's why he has really, you know what I mean, found his audience, that audience that has always been with him. You know what I mean? That's why he's really been able to channel that audience, you guys. 50 has really found himself to be more than effective on television, y'all. Thanks, D. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, me and Smurf do have legendary interviews. That's why I was trying to do the Keeping It Real podcast with him. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to tell him, like, the money will come. The money will come, Smurf. But he was just so hell-bent on ending his relationship with me over some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just so hell-bent on that. But I think Queen's Flip is the one who could solve all the issues with me and Banglam Smurf. Yep. Yep. That new show For Life is definitely amazing as well. I'll give that to you, Savannah. Yeah, facts, man. Facts, man. I don't be worrying about that. You know what I mean? I just be grinding. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't let any of that deter me. I don't let any of that shit slow down my motivation. Really, I was just trying to help Bangum by giving him a series. You know what I mean? That's really what I was trying to do at the end of the day. But when I work with people and then they tell me, like, they consistently tell me some shit like, I don't care about this. I don't want to do this. I don't like that. I don't, you know what I mean? When they're telling me they don't care about their career, you know what I mean? Like, then I just, like, I step back. You know what I mean? I lose interest when somebody shows me that they don't care about their career. Like what happened with me and Scott Storch. I don't know if anybody really wants to hear what happened with me and Scott Storch. I should do a Queen's Flip interview, bro. Yeah, it would be dope to actually do an interview with Queen's Flip, but I don't know if that's going to happen because, like, Smurf probably told him that I suck now or something like that, even though Smurf actually was supposed to set up an interview with me and Queen's Flip. Steve says 50 Cent is 6 foot, 220 pounds. Yeah, maybe at the height of his career. You know what I mean? Yeah, D, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't care about your rap career, like, what the hell, man? Like, why the hell am I here in the first place? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about a number of people that I've dealt with who have been like that, and I've just had to step back. It's like if you don't care about your rap career, then why am I even here investing my time and my efforts? You know what I mean? I went to Trinidad with Smurf, for example. I went to Trinidad, right, for like 9 days, and I came back with enough material that lasted the whole year. I should do an interview with Alpo. You're right. I should reach out to Alpo. That's a good idea. Hussein said Samuel Jackson didn't start acting until 40. People don't understand that their careers sometimes start late. Randy said, have you heard from Dark Low? Yes, I have. I'll be releasing that shortly. Maybe we should do a live on Dark Low tomorrow night. Hussein said, to be honest, I didn't even hear of Bangum Smurf until you interviewed him. A lot of people would call Bangum Smurf's comeback relatable to me. I've heard that a few times, with people like Scott Storch. You know what I mean? I've rejuvenated a few careers in my time. It's hard to get a hold of Apple. Yeah. I got a really special interview that I'm working on right now, though, and I'm hoping that I get it. It's supposed to be happening with Freeway Rick Ross, though. That's an interview that I'm really excited about. So yeah, that's an interview that y'all can look forward to. OT The Real. I just put out a new interview with OT The Real. If you guys haven't seen that, you need to go check it out right now. Do you have an interview with anyone from the Supreme team? I had spoke to Bimmy. Bimmy actually hit my line. And I thought we were going to do an interview, but he kind of, fell off from it and shit. We were supposed to do an interview, but I'm not going to stress that shit. You know what I mean? I got so much work. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Well, I ain't paying for no interviews. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying for no interviews. I've never, Ramadan Mufasa, I don't know if you know who I am, but I've never paid for an interview, and I've interviewed anybody in the industry that you can think of. Like Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? AZ, Pusha T, Lil Durk, DJ Khaled, French Montana. Like I've interviewed anybody in the industry, Gilly the Kid, you know what I'm saying? Anybody from Philly, you know what I'm saying? I've interviewed mostly everybody in the industry. So you're not BG, free BG. You're not going to find me paying for an interview. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm not going to do, just to be 100% honest with you. And the reason I'm saying all this is because, actually, never mind. I'm not even going to say that again. Just because you know what I mean? We said what we said about that dude, and I'm not going to put it out there anymore just because, I might work with him in the future anyways. You know what I mean? Because sometimes rappers will want to charge you for an interview. Like, honestly, guys, sometimes rappers will want to charge you for an interview, but then they find out who you are, and they're like, oh, shit. All right, well, we'll just do the interview then. Well, yo, Ramadan, go type in Mikey T, the movie star, Rick Ross. Mikey T, the movie star, Pusha T. Mikey T, the movie star, Lil Wayne. Mikey T, the movie star, AZ. You know what I'm saying? Go type in any of those joints. Type in Mikey T, the movie star, Jim Jones. Mikey T, the movie, anybody, man. Mikey T, the movie star, Max B. Mikey T, the movie star, French Montana. Type in any of those names. Mikey T, the movie star, and Iceberg. You will find interviews with all them dudes, yo. I don't play. I didn't just jump on here and pretend that I have a platform. I've been out there creating this name for the last 12 years. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Oskino wants to charge for interviews, but I already interviewed Oskino. You know what I mean? I interviewed Oskino like years ago and shit. Actually, like only a few years ago. Yeah, I interviewed Oskino. You know what I mean? One of my dudes is actually the one who gave him a lot of game on the internet, actually. Uh, I don't really be doing interviews with the old heads like that, man. I'll tell you honestly, AZ is about as much of the old AZ, Core Mega, people like that. I've interviewed people like AZ and Core Mega. That's about as old school as I'm really gonna get. I've interviewed Young Noble from the Outlaws. I've interviewed Nori, you know what I mean? I've interviewed some dope ass artists. I even interviewed Tommy Hilfiger's son, Rich Hill. Met Birdman, met Diddy, met Birdman, met Diddy. Trying to think this. I never met Jay. Yeah, this shit's definitely hitting. The 50 Cent interview is not gonna happen, I don't think. I don't think the 50 Cent interview is gonna happen. He actually kind of declined it. I've interviewed rappers from the new school, man. I've interviewed 22 G's, Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? I've interviewed a few rappers from the new school. Let me think. You know what I mean? A lot of these new dudes don't be doing interviews though like that. Like Little Uzi Vert, you know what I mean? Young Thug, you know what I'm saying? Chief Keef. Chief Keef really started it all, the trend of rappers not wanting to do interviews, not needing to do interviews anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've interviewed Gunplay. Yeah, I interviewed most all the dudes from MMG, Stolly, Rocky Fresh. You know what I'm saying? I got a drop from Wale. I actually ran into him at the Shot Caller music video. Never got any video work with Meek Mill. I think I just missed Meek Mill in the Philly era, I guess, because I actually moved to Miami in 2011. Yeah, the new school rappers are really anti-interviews, man. They're really anti-interviews. I'm trying to think what new school dudes I've actually linked up with. Poop Papers from Philly is dope. He's actually locked up now. You know what I mean? I don't know if you technically consider him a new dude. Actually, I would consider Poop Papers a new dude, man. 'Cause, you know what I mean? He was like the next generation after Meek Mill and shit. He hasn't really got his just due. He had actually had a dope management team, and I believe he had a partnership with Empire. Mike Knox is cool as hell, except Mike Knox actually blocked me out of nowhere, probably because I worked with Bangum Smurf and shit. Like it was crazy because Mike Knox was calling me like every day, and we was talking. He's like, "Mikey T, the movie star, man." Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? What's the biggest regret in my career? Let's see, biggest regret in my career. Um, uh, losing uh losing out on my credit with Kanye West is one of my regrets. You know what I mean? Not being properly credited on shit is just kind of my regrets and shit. One of my biggest regrets was when I was working with Scott Storch. Regrets. One time when I was going to the nightclub to meet up with Wiz in Miami, I was going to King of Diamonds to meet up with Compton Menace and Wiz and my boy it's Matic. You know what I'm saying? We was on some money hog shit with Compton Menace and shit. Salute Robbie Good as well. I was on my way to meet up with all the homies at King of Diamonds, right? Right? So this is my biggest regret. So I'm leaving Scott Storch's studio. I'm like, Storch, I gotta go to the club to go meet up with Wiz and Compton Menace and shit. And he's like, yo, bring Wiz back to the studio. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I had my own weed. I had like a pack. I had a pack of Dutches, right, with 2 blunts rolled inside of it. And then I had a bag of weed with extra weed for myself so I could roll up at least a blunt. And then I brought an extra eighth because I knew someone at the nightclub was going to be like, yo, I need a 50. And I was like, yo, this is a good chance to make $50. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real. So I pull out of Storch's studio in Hollywood, Florida. And I should have taken a right, you guys. If I was in Hollywood, I would have taken a right and I would have been on this joint that was like right parallel with the train tracks. And then I would have made a left and I would have made it right on the highway. So, right, I would have just made a right, another right going parallel with the train tracks. I make a left and the highway is right there, Sheridan in Hollywood, you guys. So, anyways, I took a left. I'm going down the black blocks. I don't know why. I pulled down and apparently I went through a stoplight and the cop pulled me over. I noticed this cop lights on and shit. So I'm like, oh, he ain't pulling me over. I'm high as hell, you guys. I'm high as hell. I got 2 bags of weed and the Dutchess sitting on my lap. And I'm like, he's not pulling me over. I'm just going to pull over real quick, push on the brakes so he can drive by me. He's obviously just got his lights on. This dude stopped behind me. He comes, my car's still in just parked, right? It's in drive, but parked. So the cop goes, he opens the door right away. The cop opens the door right away. And I'm just like flailing, trying to put the weed and shit in my pants. And he's like, don't even try it. I already see it. And then he pulls me out of the car. He obviously pulled me out right out of the whip because I was flailing around and shit. So he pulls me out of the whip and the car starts rolling away. The cop jumps in the whip and then he calls over. And he's like, well, this guy obviously doesn't want to run. He had a chance to run. He said it on the radio. He didn't want to run. Yep, crazy shit. So he basically took all my weed. He gave me a weed charge that I had to go fight in Broward County. So I was fighting a weed charge in Broward County, and I caught one in Dade County as well. I'm another stupid occurrence. So anyways, but guys, funny part of this story, right? He takes the 2 bags of weed, but I noticed the Dutches fell out of the car. They fell, right? Cop never looked at the Dutches. The cop never looked at the Dutches, you guys. So the cop left, right? I spun the block and I grabbed the Dutches and I had 2 blunts. And obviously I didn't go to King of Diamonds that night. So that was one of my biggest regrets, taking that left turn out of Scott Storch's studio when I should have took the right turn. That shit was messed up, you guys. That shit was absolutely messed up. I got busted for weed just because I made the wrong turn. Yup. I noticed, for some reason, the cop didn't look at the Dutches. The Dutches just fell on the ground. See, I got some more over here too. The Dutches just fell on the ground and he sort of disregarded him because obviously my car started rolling away. Funny thing was my license was actually suspended at that time. I didn't know it. And he's just like, is everything good? Is your license suspended or whatever? I'm like, no. And he just let everything go and let me drive away with a weed ticket for like $185. Yep. It was crazy. But all right. So Iceberg had a question. Who is a person that you interviewed that you wish you didn't? A person I interviewed that I wish I didn't. Bro, who's somebody that you wish I didn't interview, Iceberg? Please give me a couple names. I can't think of anybody that I interviewed that I wish I didn't. Let me think. Bro, I genuinely don't go after interviews that I don't want. Like, you know what I mean? Like I interviewed Cash Out and that was dope. Cash Out, the dude riding around that Nina. All right, Iceberg. Well, I want to know somebody I interviewed. You can rephrase it, but I want to know somebody that I interviewed that you wish I didn't. What's my dream interview? Like an interview that could actually happen. Like an interview that is actually capable of happening. We're going to talk about. Yo, Isaac, what's poppin', man? I appreciate you for tuning in. Right now, I'm actually taking some chat questions. So, an interview, my dream interview, that should be like right now, honestly, dream interviews should be an easy question to answer. Obviously, a dope interview would be with Offset from the Migos. Like Offset to me is one of the most talented artists. Also, the interview that I missed out on, an interview that I would really like to do a full feature length interview on would be Mace, but I missed out on that interview because Mace, like, Mace is really a dope person in real life. All right, I was about to say that in my next answer to this, Steve, but I'm gonna go with your question next. Who would I rather interview, Jay-Z or 50 Cent? Now, if I was actually given an hour to 2 hours to actually interview this guy, I would have to interview 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was gonna say. That would be another dream interview. You know what I'm saying? That would definitely be another dream interview. Jay-Z would be a dream interview as well, too, man. If I was able actually to sit down with them and go over their careers like I wanted to, you know? Um, yo, so I missed one here. Hell yeah, I mess with Young Boy. Young Boy is one of the dopest new rising talents. You know what I mean? We're just from different parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? We're just from different parts of the world. Yep, I did a couple interviews with Young Chris. If you want to go check it out, Mikey T, the movie star, and Young Chris. Chris never forgot me after we did an interview together, man. Chris never forgot me. I really appreciate Chris for all the respect that he gave me. I remember after we did an interview in Miami at Circle House when he was working with Rico Love, he pulled up on me in Philly and he's like, "Yo, I couldn't miss the Mikey T the movie star interview. I was at Batcave Studio." But oh, there it is. So D Henchman said Mace doesn't talk much. Yo, D, this might be your first time tuning in, but I was speaking on, or you might have missed it, but I was speaking on when I met Mace a few days ago. And bro, when I met Mace, it was definitely a whole effort of turn up, man. Like me and Mace were chatting back and forth. We were vibing out to some of his old records, some of his new records in the studio with Arizona Slim. Major salute to Arizona Slim. You know what I'm saying? Mace really made me think that we were going to do the interview. He was like, "Listen, Mike, we both know Circle House Studio. We both know Circle House Studio, so I'm going to meet you there later on tonight, and we're going to do the interview. And I'm going to bring out the gold Lambo." You all probably saw the gold Lambo come out in one of Mace's videos, unless it was an Aston Martin. But yeah, no, Mace and me, we're going to do an interview. We had a really dope connection. I would not doubt that Mace remembers who I am. You know what I'm saying? We had a really dope meeting in Miami, and I appreciate Arizona Slim for that, man. That dude right there, Arizona Slim, he got started, in the ranks of New York, making his name, going to Irv Gotti's Murder Inc. studio with Ja Rule and shit like that. Then he really close knit, bringing French Montana there and shit. I want to bring Arizona Slim's story to this page too. That's why I was saying I don't really have a lot of interviews that I regret doing. You know what I mean? I love the interviews that I do. I remember doing a lot of work with Gunplay in Miami that I was really, really proud of. You know what I'm saying? I'm really proud of the work that I was doing with Scott Storch in Miami as well, when he gave me the opportunity to actually meet different major celebrities, you know what I mean? Like Pusha T, who took the time of day to actually do an interview with me. I got to interact with Jim Jones, you know what I'm saying? And we was really vibing and shit. Did I ever interview Kevin Gates? No, I haven't interviewed Kevin Gates. Who do I got in a verses with T.I. and 50? Damn. T.I. has mad hits. T.I. has mad hits. Like T.I. is one of the artists that I always compare. Like, if you can't compare to T.I.'s record sales, even though 50 has gone diamond on a couple of occasions, you cannot compare to T.I.'s record sales. This man sold 500,000 units, 600,000 units, 480,000 units. You know what I'm saying? This guy really moved a lot of numbers. T.I., and he had a lot of singles on each of those albums. T.I.'s career is, at one point, T.I. actually was looked at as inferior to Ludacris. even during that whole point when Buck released the album with the record Stomp. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of Cashville, right, you guys? With the records. Am I right about that? I feel like no, Straight out of Stomp was definitely on Straight Out of Cashville and not Buck the World. I don't even know why that was a question on my mind. I don't even know why that was a question on my mind because, you know, Stomp was a different quality of record than what was produced on Young Buck's second album. Just saying. But at that point, you know, Ludacris was looked at as the superior. But as time went on, T.I. really proved to be the bigger artist from the South than Ludacris. I'm just saying. Nah, D, it wouldn't get violent. What I mean is, like, is there an artist that you thought was going to blow up but didn't? Listen, I just did an interview with Jose Guapo. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, what the hell was going on with that? Nobody watched my interview with Jose Guapo, but then I look over at Say Cheese. On Say Cheese, he has 100,000 views. That doesn't make absolutely no sense. Yeah, I did Jose Guapo, and I got 800 views. I did Jose Guapo part 2. I got 500 views. And then I look over at Say Cheese, and they have Jose Guapo with 100,000 views. They have Jose Guapo with 25,000 views. What the hell kind of shit is that? How is Jose Guapo doing 100,000 views on Say Cheese, but he does 800 views on Mikey T, the Movie Stars page? That is absolute garbage. That is absolute garbage, man. That is something I regret. You know what I mean? The public not embracing that interview. Jose Guapo gave me gold. Jose Guapo went in detail about how he got started in the game before the rich boys, before the rich kids. He told me about how he knew Young Thug in middle school, in high school and shit. Broke down how he almost had a record deal situation with T.I. and Grand Hustle, but they were all too young to sign. I got him to break down his full story. You see, Iceberg, that's crazy. That's crazy right there because the people asked me, they were like, Mikey T, we want the OT, the real interview. They were like, Mikey T, we want the Cassidy interview. But then when I drop these interviews, the people don't show up for them. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I can't say that all the way because I have a couple Cassidy clips that are nearing like 100,000 views. But like, it's like people are like, Mikey T, we want the interview with Cassidy, but then they don't show up for it or something like that. Yo, Hussein, don't worry about it. I probably inspired Say Cheese to actually go with that name. Say Cheese probably, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people back in the day wouldn't go with a name that would sound kind of corny in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people made it cool, and I'm pretty sure I existed before Say Cheese. I'm not sure about that. I'm pretty sure I did. When Say Cheese's videos dated back to, I remember that they came onto the scene and shit. I don't think you know when I came onto the scene. I dropped on the scene with my video on World Star Hip Hop. That was me. We had a good vibe though tonight. Millie's interview was gold. Yeah, man. I've been really killing my interviews for years. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going corporate, you guys. I'm not going corporate until one of these guys drop the big bag. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, independent grind on the real, independent grind. I've sold a couple records. You know what I mean? I have a couple different affiliations with people. But like I said, until I get that real deal, I'm not gonna go sign with somebody until I get that real situation. You know what I mean? When somebody like Revolt TV or Nori with Drink Champs, or Gilly comes with $1 million worth of game platform. He's like, all right, Mikey T, we see you've been doing your shit on the blogs lately. We're going to give you a platform. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. An association like that, you guys. Until then, I'm going to keep it just like I've been keeping it for the last 12 years. I've interviewed Terminology, Peasy. Go type it in. Mikey T and Terminology. It's up there. I interviewed Terminology back in the day, bro. Yeah. Oh, that's why. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, that's right. We lit up. What's the difference between a blogger and a journalist? You know what, man? I never looked at myself as either. I looked at myself as an executive producer. I look at myself as a creator. You know what I'm saying? I've always been an executive producer. But what's the difference between a blogger and a journalist? A blogger right now is somebody that jumps on the internet and basically puts out his commentary on different stories. That's what I'm kind of doing right now with all this new, you know what I mean? I've been actually putting out, going on covering stories from other websites. Now, what I first did was start doing interviews. I actually, sorry, I should have never did that. What I first did was I started doing interviews. Well, I still do it to this day. I do interviews, and basically you give your content to all the websites, and they have journalists who write about them. You know what I mean? So you're a content provider. That's what I've always been, a content provider. So I've never, in fact, actually been a journalist. And just now I'm jumping on and doing the blogging. As probably a lot of you know, I started doing this blogging after Dark Low got locked up, because Dark Low wasn't able to actually spread the word anymore of what OBH was doing. That's why I started jumping on and doing this blogging. You know what I mean? So it really started off of that. And then I was like, you know what, man? Everybody just wants me to report on different news, and I'm not going to be limited to one thing. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how big this avenue is right now with actually showing yourself. If I'd been doing it the last 9-10 years, it would have been a lot better. You know what I mean? If I had started off doing it like this. Now, I was actually in my first interview with Freaky Zeke, so that's where I did start doing it. Right. Now that's an anchor. That's an anchor who reports the news as well. He's like an anchor. I'm like an anchor, a blogger, an anchor. I'm the king of the bloggers. I'm taking that title though, you guys, because all these dudes is my sons. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes is my sons. That's why I'm the king of the bloggers. Now, Gilly the Kid, I give Gilly the Kid the king of the media. Gilly is the king of the media right now, you guys. I'm sorry, but did Nori have an interview with Young Thug? Even Nori has got to give his, even Nori has got to give Gilly his credit. Of course, the Dark Low interview would hit a million views, but who gives a shit about that, man? That's not what I care about. I've got 30 million views. That's not what it's about, man. Come on. I'm happy with the reaction that we're getting tonight on a random night. You know what I mean? On a random night to come on here and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with the reaction that we got the other day with the Chief Keef story, and the day before that with the others. You know, I'm happy with the reaction we get from that. We don't need to do no outlandish shit on this channel. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Dark Low doesn't need to be talking right now until he feels properly right to talk. And I'm just praying right now that he makes it through his whole situation without having to go back to jail. That's right. I'm praying that Dark Low doesn't have to, never mind an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at it from a fan perspective, or look at it from the perspective of a friend. You know what I mean? You want your artist to be around to do the music that you want to hear, or do you want to keep on saying free him while he's locked up? I think I would like, I think I'd like him to be out here putting out the music that we'd all like to hear. We messed it kind of, the opportunity kind of got screwed up when he released American Made with that Benny the Butcher single. He really was killing shit. Thank you, Hussein, man. I appreciate that, man. An interview and doing 1 million views would be great, but honestly, we're doing a lot of views with all the content that I'm releasing between all the interviews. So I'm not really thirsty just to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thirsty to do that. That's not what I've ever been about. That's not what my channel has ever been about. It's not about doing what, you know what I mean? It's about giving the people the content that the world needs. Yes, that's what it's about. But it's not about doing that cap ass shit of jumping on shit just like a bandwagon type thing. You know what I'm saying? If Dark Low goes and does an interview somewhere else, which I don't think he's going to do with this case. You know what I'm saying? If he gets a big platform like a news station or like with AR Rab and the Queen's Flip channel, all the more love to that. You know what I'm saying? Steve, Mikey, don't ignore, bro. What happened to Maybach Dyson domination? What do you mean? What happened to Maybach Dyson domination? Hit that Cash App. Hit that Cash App, Steve, and maybe I'll tell you what happened with Maybach Dyson domination. Steve Drive, hit the Cash App donation, my brother, and I will tell you the story that you want to hear. But Hussein, yo, man, I appreciate that, man, because it's always good to talk about Dark Low. We are gonna be talking about Dark Low's new album. I think we're gonna talk about Dark Low's new album tomorrow, you guys. That's right. Yup. You see it. Iceberg post it. Cash App, Mikey T movie. Hit that donation and I'll tell you what you want to hear, my brother. But other than that, man, we could get into detail about that. I mean, if you make that a juicy Cash App. I'm just saying, I could tell you some shit that you might want to hear. Dice might be locked up right now. So all that snitch shit about Dice is kind of crazy because Dice has been locked up a number of times where he didn't tell. It was just a messed up time in Dice's life. And Steve, I'm not going to get too deep into it unless you want to hit that Cash App with a donation. If anybody else wants to hit a Cash App with the donation as well, I'll go in detail. But what I will say is that, Dice was just at a situation, you know what I mean? Dice was in a situation where he was just starting to rock with Rick Ross, where he was just getting in the studios with guys like, Gunplay and being around the likes of Mass Spike Miles, who was getting the super push from Rick Ross back then. You know what I mean? He was around all these guys in Atlanta at their studio and shit, and he didn't want to jeopardize his opportunity, you know what I mean, to be around those dudes. Eric Budwell said his bank don't work on Wednesdays. Is it Wednesday? Oh shit, is it Wednesday? That's lit. Oh, thank you, Iceberg. You are the man, bro. You be staying on top of shit, man. I appreciate you, brother. You was that guy. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about Dark Low's new album. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. That's right. Sounds about right. Since everybody wants to talk about Dark Low, I think you're right. It's time for another Dark Low update. Plus, Dark Low had some things to say about Cassidy that I'm going to fill you all in on as well. But I'll have to leave that as the hook line, you know what I mean? So I can sink you in to the conversation. Because Dark Low had an interesting thing to say about Cassidy, and I think a lot of you guys might want to hear it. But yeah, also, yep, you see what Iceberg just said? Funny as hell. My dude right there. It's crazy how 50 said that he's going to cancel the fight, though. Obviously, 50's just ribbing. I think 50's just ribbing that whole situation, you guys, because when a promoter comes, yep, when the promoter comes with that bread, ain't nobody going to say goodbye to say no to that contract. But all right, guys. Hussein said, I'm not going to lie. I'm in Toronto and I'll fly to see that fight. Yep. He wants the bad win or lose. Thanks, Iceberg, man. I appreciate that. All right, you guys. Unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to take any questions right now before we call it a night. If anybody has any other questions, I'm going to take them right now in the chat. Other than that, if you guys want to see the return of the Circle of Wealth podcast, where we bring the spitters on, hit that Cash App with a donation, Cash App Mikey T Movie. If you want to see the return of the live spitters, I'm not sure when I'm going to go live tomorrow, but probably around 8, 9 o'clock, regular times, my dude. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, before we get out of here, if anybody wants to drop a question in the chat, just drop it. It's been a pleasure jumping on here tonight. It's crazy to see Floyd Mayweather reacting to 50 Cent like that so quickly. I believe it was in a span of 4 days, maybe 4 or 5 days. Steve, like I told you, my dude, if you want the conversation, you know what to do, my dude. Otherwise, it's all good, my G. I'm about to get up out of here. I'll see you all on live tomorrow. That's right, Eric. You know what I'm saying? Or super chat, Steve. Or you can do a super chat. Drop a super chat. The super chat works as well. Also, one of my homies brought it to my attention. I'm not sure who. Yeah, one of the homies brought it to my attention. Oskino actually has a new podcast called Deeper Than Rap. Oskino has a new podcast called Deeper Than Rap. I checked out the first episode. All right, bro. God bless you, man. Actually, I'll give you the quick timeout. I'll give you the quick timeout. You know what I mean? Because I guess, obviously, you might not be a true supporter to the site or whatever. My man Hussein says, F all the haters. Not necessarily directed at you unless you feel it is. But yeah, man, it's your boy Mikey T, the movie star, back with this hot news every single night of the week, for real. We're going to stay updated on it. Maybe 50 will go back on what he said of canceling the fight over him not reading a few pages from his book. If a worthwhile promoter comes in, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that whole situation could get worked out if a worthwhile producer producer or promoter, you know what I mean? Somebody that wants this fight to happen steps in with a major contract. Okay. Hussein, do you think all rappers have to? No, Hussein, that's a weird question, man. Hussein, please don't be asking weird questions like that on the site, man. I don't believe in things like selling your soul. That's kind of weird. We don't talk about that on this channel, do we, Iceberg? We don't talk about that weird ass extra one last question shit. Like, come on, dude. That's just type strange, man. And I'm just being 100% honest with you. Now, I understand you're from Canada and all that. So we're giving you an opportunity to have a voice on the channel. But when you start saying weird, blasphemous shit like that, that's when somebody starts to scroll over your comment and not really read it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Ramadan Mufasa says that dude. Now, this is a worthwhile comment right here. Uh, my dude Mustafa says that dude from England will put up the money that runs their boxing. Is that the guy that I be hearing on all the phone conversations? Is always like, "Yo, I've got the contract." I'm saying somebody's gonna come up and put up some money to see 50 and Floyd go at it. Now that we've got confirmation sort of from Floyd. That was the most major person that needed to make the confirmation that he would do it in an exhibition fight. Am I right, you guys? Like, never mind a 50 challenge. The 50 is going to challenge him all day. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, bro. Damn. The homie is done. Yo, Eric, man, I appreciate the donation for real. Eric with a 99-cent donation, man. Eric, you're a real one, yo. And I do appreciate you. I believe you brought a couple spitters on the show before, right? Yo, bro. And dude, don't be, I'm not even gonna mention your name anymore, but don't be trying to throw shade at this show. You know what I'm saying? Doggy Diamonds and I have respect for one another. So don't be trying to throw no shade. Of course, Doggy Diamonds has fucking whatever, excuse me. Of course, Doggy Diamonds has a crazy amount of people on his stream. Doggy Diamonds is a goat. You kidding me right now? Right now, I'm just interacting with the people. You know what, Iceberg? It strikes me the other day, didn't that kid say something about, oh, there's not a lot of people in here tonight? Mikey, shit is tripping. Bro, we don't care about the views. We do millions of views. Like right now, I'm interacting. Yo, you, Eric said, yo, Eric, bro, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you send a donation. That's love, man. Shit like that means a lot to me, G's. Yo, Komodo, that's what a couple people were saying, that winner takes all is not actually something that can be done. You know what I'm saying? And I think when the promoter comes in, the promoter's probably going to tell Floyd, like, no, it's not going to be winner takes all. I've got this amount of money here, this amount of money there. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, when a different promoter comes in, the money will be taken care of on both ends. It's about the good vibes in here, y'all. Don't ruin it. Yeah, for real, man. Like, come on. There's some corny ass bloggers out there, you guys. But let me tell you, Doggy Diamonds, guys like that, you don't even consider him a blogger like that. You consider him an interview king. I know where to show respect. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Emrek, people like that, I got a major respect for them. Dude's trying to put up like comparisons. Like, this shit ain't about comparison with those guys. Those guys are gods to this industry, man. Like, what are you talking about? They were there at the beginning stages of World Star filming content. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever compare me to people like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't compare me like that, like in a negative way. Don't do that, man. Like, those guys right there really paved the way for a dude like me to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? They do some of the most interesting interviews. You kidding me? Jojo Capone was just shouting them out the other day. Also, Fendi, Doggy Diamond's interview with Fendi. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, look what Emrek is doing right now. I seen Emrek on live a few times with 5,000 people watching his shit. Right now, Emrek and Doggy Diamonds, they're getting their name across there, you guys. Back in the day, when people didn't want to give them their just due, those guys right now are going in, and they got all the people watching them. Don't expect me to do anything else besides show them love based on that, man. Like, don't expect me to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Doggy and Emrek made Forbes DVD. You know, in different ways, man. Different ways. Dopest interviews, being on the scene, being with the right artist. That's why I mentioned Forbes DVD as a website that I was featured on. Hot New Hip Hop, Hip Hop DX, Rap Radar. You know what? Not Right. Forbes DVD. You know what I'm saying? World Star Hip Hop. All hip hop. Every single website. MTV. All these websites, you guys. I put Forbes in the mix with them. I respect them just as much as any of them. Ask Doggy. Done hit him up a million times. Emrek hit him up a million times, asking him, yo, can you put my video up? Can you put this video up? Can you put this interview up? Can you put this artist music video up? And those guys showed me all kinds of love. And you know what? I actually asked Doggy for an interview months back, because I wanted to do something with Doggy to support AR Rab, because Doggy had one of the best interviews with them. And Doggy has the best perspective on shit. But you know what? I didn't have this whole shit worked out where I go live. I didn't have this whole shit worked out where I jumped on Zoom. That's why I didn't do the interview with Doggy Diamonds. But yeah, on the real, I was just explaining that, you guys. You know what I mean? Because I would never go up against some people who paved the way. You know what I mean? Some people who paved the way for the way that we do things in this industry. That's why you don't see me going against DJ Vlad. You know what I mean? That's why you don't see me going against World Star. You know what I'm saying? That shit's disrespectful when you go against entities that have shaped the way that hip hop is. You don't see me doing that, man, because I'm respectful for this game. I have a respectful nature for this game of hip hop, y'all. I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in as well. But I think that's where we'll wrap it up, you guys. You know what I mean? We obviously had a dope story tonight to cover, and then we had some dope questions. And then I think I got it out that I got a lot of respect for a number of, entities in hip hop out there that have basically helped me spread my name throughout the years. Yo, have a good night, Eric. Appreciate everybody for tapping in tonight, though, on the real. All right, tap in tomorrow. We're going to do a story about Dark Low's new album, I'm thinking. Let's get it.